So now the next one is the Quality Migrant Admission Scheme. This is a program that was introduced by Tung Chi Hua all those years ago, where the Immigration Department are looking for top-notch talent. That was how he described it. And this came about as a result of us having a kind of a lacuna in our immigration policy, that compared to other jurisdictions there were ample opportunities for really special talents, very well qualified people to come to Hong Kong pro forma without any need for a job offer or any other rationale other than the fact that they're very well qualified people. And the Quality Migrant Admission Scheme really should be, in my view, couched as the Quality Mainland Migrant Admission Scheme. Because when you look at the numbers of this program, 77% of all approvals go to mainland Chinese, and only 23% of applications that get approved, that are submitted, ever get approved. So if you're not a mainlander and you're making an application under this program, the statistics suggest to you that your chance of approval is not that great. But here's the issue. The issue is that the program is administered over the course of 6 to 12 months, so it takes a long time to get the visa approved. And it's a process that anticipates that you start off by having a minimum number of points. It's a points-based system. You have a minimum number of points, and if you meet that minimum number of points, you then are available to go into the selection pool. And then once you're in the selection pool, depending on the number of points that you get, and depending on the industry sector that you've indicated on the application form kind of applies to you and your background, you then get compared and contrasted with other people that have also made applications. And the thing is, you've no visibility whatsoever over what the competition looks like. So you could have, for example, 163 points, which I think is the maximum now. It might be 183. There were some changes last year. But you could have the maximum number of points -1, for example, and then go into the application with a very high level of personal confidence that you're going to get approved. But it might well be that there's somebody else that's competing against you, or more than one person that's competing against you in the selection exercise, who's going to pip you to that potential approval. And because it's quota based, you don't really know how you're going to fare. And because it's quite a comprehensively administered program, it takes a lot of effort and a lot of energy and a lot of documentation from past employers and transcripts and all kinds of weird and wonderful things that the Immigration Department need to assess your eligibility for this program. I've found down the years that it isn't a program that's particularly compelling for most people, because not least it takes 12 months as a minimum usually to get approved, and that's a long time to wait with a sort of Damocles hanging over you to know whether or not you're actually going to get approved when the time comes along. So when you look at the non-mainlanders that get approved, you discover that they are usually holding very esoteric skill sets. So for example, one gentleman was an ice hockey coach. Another person was an art therapist, a psychotherapist that used art to deliver, the therapeutic outcomes. If you have won a gold medal in the Olympics, or at least represented your country in the Olympics, or you're a concert virtuoso, or you've won a Nobel Prize, then you can qualify very readily under this program, under the what I call the slam dunk mechanism. And that's where if you're such exceptional talent that Hong Kong manifestly needs to have you in our midst, then the Immigration Department will automatically award you the maximum number of points, and you make an application on that basis, and you will invariably be slam dunked in. But it's quite onerous to be able to expect to get approved under the slam dunk mechanism. So most people are going under the general points test. and the general points test then puts you into the maelstrom of not knowing who you're competing against, and the excessive amount of time that it takes to get approved under this program. But it's a good visa if you can get one, and I know a lot of people have secured permissions under this visa. You get a 2-year, you get a 1-year visa initially, and that first year you have to just demonstrate that you've settled in Hong Kong. And at the end, and the way that you demonstrate that you've settled in Hong Kong is by, if you're family with you, you've put your kids in school, you've taken accommodation, you can manifestly show that you've been looking for employment in all of that time. And then your next extension will be for 2 years, and at that point you need to show that you're gainfully employed in Hong Kong, doing the kind of things that Hong Kong anticipate that you would do that led to the grant of the visa in the first place. Because it is competitive, it is quota driven, and the Immigration Department expects you to be making a contribution, and you can't just hold on to the visa and not be doing anything to expect extension over the long haul. So that's the Quality Migrant Admission Scheme. Does anybody here think that they might qualify for this programme? No. Well, I mean, ostensibly I qualify on the points, but I'm not so sure that I would be deemed suitable for approval given the sort of, I'm a specialist in what I do, but there's nothing that special about what I'm all about. That's not it's bringing something external that Hong Kong would welcome. So that's the Quality Migrant Admission Scheme.